Welcome to another exam of our online course. Today's session is going to address students whose major is science. So let's get started. Text of comprehension. Text A. Mahatma Gandhi was a great freedom fighter and non-violence activist. He was born in the 1869 in Gujarat, India. He completed his schooling in India and went to England for further study of law. He then went to British colony of South Africa to practice law. There, he decides to become a political activist. Later, he returned to India and started a powerful non-violent movement to fight for Indians' independence. Many times he was sent to the prison, but he never discouraged himself and continued fighting for the national freedom. He started many mass movements like non-cooperation movement in the 1920s and the Quit India movement in the 1942. After so many struggles, India gained independence in 1947. A year later, Gandhi was assassinated. Gandhi proved that everything is possible with non-violence and the unity of people. Even after his death, he is still alive in the heart of every Indian as father of the nation. Text B. Martin Luther King was a great symbolic leader who worked for equality and civil rights in the United States. He was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was a bright student and skipped grades in both elementary school and high school. He graduated from high school at 15. At university, he learned about Mahatma Gandhi, who helped change unfair laws in India by teaching people to protest without violence. He thought he could do the same in USA. In 1944, Martin organized a protest against racism on buses in Montgomery, Alabama. He began to organize other nonviolent protests and soon was a leader in civil rights movement. He was arrested and attacked many times. In 1963, he led a march in Washington with over 200,000 people. In this march, he gave his famous speech, I Have a Dream, in which he said that people should not be judged by the color of their skin. Martin was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. 4 years later, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tunisia. Martin Luther King's birthday is a national holiday, and each January his life and work are honored by Americans. So let's move to the comprehension questions. Try to base all your answers on the text. First one, fill in the chart with the information from the text. Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther. You are going to give here date of birth and the country of origin. So the first one we have Gandhi. He was born in 1869 and the country of origin is India. Martin Luther King was born in 1929 and his country is Georgia. The question B. Are these statements true or false? Justify. Gandhi was assassinated before India became independent. It's false. India gained independence in the 1945. A year later, Gandhi was assassinated. Martin Luther King was influenced by Gandhi. Yes, true, because he began to organize other non-violent protests as Gandhi did. And in the text you may find that he learned about Gandhi and how he changed his nation. Both Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King was arrested. Of course, true, many times both Gandhi and Luther King was attacked and sent to the present. What I'm interested here is sent to the present. The question C. Answer these questions. Why did Martin Luther King skip grades at school? Because he was a brilliant student. How did Americans honor Martin Luther King? They honor Martin Luther King's work and life each January, and they have his birthday as a national holiday. D. Complete these sentences with information from the text. Despite difficulty, Gandhi didn't stop fighting for a nation freedom. The message of Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, is that people should not be judged by the color of their skin. A. Find in the text words that mean almost the same as. Here you might find that it's a verb with ed and even in second. That's why you are required to put the verb into the past simple. So for example, showed is proved, killed is assassinated. What do the underlined words or phrases in the text refer to? Father of nation and he. So the first one is Gandhi and second is Martin Luther King. Choose the right answer. Text A and text B are about two violent protesters, prisoners of wars, political leaders. Some of you may put violent protesters, but this is false. Why? Because they were both non-violent protesters. Okay? So we have another choice which is political leaders. Great. So let's move to the language side. A. Give the correct form of the words in brackets. Brahim, ambitious, is to become a lawyer. So here ambitious is an adjective and requires a noun in this context. So you are going to put ambition. The two political parties couldn't agreement on the electoral reform. So here agreement is going to be changed into a verb because in this context it requires a verb. The verb of agreement is agree. Question B. Fill in the gaps with the appropriate words or phrases from the list. While I was shopping at the supermarket, a famous actor. Here you are going to meet a famous actor, and the phrasal verb that has the same meaning of meet is come across. That's good. The international is worried about the global warming. So who is very concerned about global warming? Is it trade, community, or system? Of course it's community. The international community is worried about the global warming. C. Rewrite the sentence began with the words given. Because of bad weather, airport authority cancelled all flight. Here we started with object all flight. That means we have a passive voice form. And if we focus on cancelled, we are going to find it's in the past simple. And be careful about S here. That means all flights were cancelled by the airport authority because of bad weather. Where did you spend your holiday? Rashid asked his friend. Try not to forget his friend, because if we don't have his friend, you can be changed to I. But because we have his friend, we should be careful about this. Rashid wants to know where his friend had spent his or her holiday, because his friend could be a girl or a boy. You didn't check a dictionary, that's why you made many spelling mistakes. This is the rule of conditional type 3. And if we have here a negative form of the verb check, and here made, what is negative should be changed to affirmative, and what is affirmative should be changed to the negative. So the answer is, if you had checked a dictionary, you wouldn't have made many spelling mistakes. Question D. Join the pairs of sentence with the linking words given. Lisa is getting fat. She eats unhealthy food as a result. Morocco has set up a large solar plants. Morocco wants to produce clean energy in order to. As a result is the expression of cause and effect. You are going to start first with a cause, then we are going to move to the result. So the first one is Lisa eats unhealthy food. As a result, she is getting fat. And second one is expressing purpose. It's easy, I think, because you are going to delete Morocco wants to and to put in order to. Morocco has set up a large solar planets in order to produce clean energy. That's good. Question A. Fill in each gap with the correct word from the list. We take the bus to the stadium. We can go on foot. If you are going to go on foot, you don't need to take the bus. And if we have the expression here without to, that means the expression that is fit into the context is needn't. So we needn't take the bus to the stadium, we go on foot. Moroccan non-government organizations often helps villages suffer from poverty. Here, villages may be concerned as a place, and we are going to describe these places. That means is which. That's good. Moroccan non-governmental organizations often help villages which suffer from poverty. Match each expression with its appropriate function. I cannot concerned on my work. What should I do? In my view, video games affect children's behavior. That sounds great. Congratulations. What do you mean by deforestation? Response to good news, express lack of understanding, asking for advice, expressing apologize, expressing opinion. I'm going to help you to underline the key points that's going to help you understand and answer this exercise. What should I do? It's here is kind of asking. So you are going to ask for an advice because we have here should. That's good. A, it's C. In my view, we have in my view. And this one, that sounds great. And here is what do you mean by. Number 2, it's opinion, expressing opinion. That sounds great, congratulations. It's responding to good news, great. What do you mean by? It's lack of understanding. Question G, write appropriate responses to the following situations. Your friend, I didn't pass my driving test yesterday. Here it's responding to bad news. Your friend, my computer is infected with virus. Of course, it's bad news, but try if you have another expressions, you can add it. For example, you are going to add an advice, alright? So let's move to the first one. It is sad to hear that, but you can do better. My computer is infected with a virus. That is a bad news, but you should have antivirus. Great. Right inside. Complete the following paragraph about the most important invention. I think the most important invention is there are at least 3 reasons why this invention is important in our life. I have just an advice for students of baccalaureate. Please try to focus on how we write one paragraph because at any exam you are going to complete this kind of paragraph. So try to know the elements such as topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. Great. So I will take the most great invention is printing press, and you can use this kind of key points to help you understand and go through this paragraph at ease. For example, to develop country, the books can be printed quickly, people become literate, the books have become cheaper, spread information quickly, share ideas among culture. So let's get started. It helps to print many books as quick as possible. As a result, the cost of books is becoming cheaper and cheaper. Second, this invention somehow contributes to fighting illiteracy. That is, if the printing books are increasing, the people can read as many books as they can because of their cheap price. Third, many countries have shown their development due to the written books printed by this invention. Therefore, it encourages to share ideas among different cultures. To conclude, nowadays, this invention looks much simpler, but it has had many great benefits in our life. That's good. Let's move to the second task. The travel magazine Wonders of the World wants to select the best city of the year. Write an article to describe the city which you think is the best. Here you are going to choose a city with some of the elements, either its people, let's say transportations, how people are behave towards the tourists, for example like this. Because keep in your mind that the person who is going to read should interest on the elements that is attractive to visit this kind of city. So let's have a look at my article. Before going to a particular city, you must take into consideration its beautiful people, historical monuments, and transportation. In this sense, Marrakesh is considered the best because of these criteria. Haven't you met any Marrakeshi is somehow disappointing because you may not feel bored hanging out with the Marrakeshi people who are very funny and active. They love to talk about stories in an enjoyable way. even though the same story is repeated many times. These stories may be about themselves and other people in different places. Your eyes will be amused and surprised as long as you see some places such as المنارة, الكتبية, and ساحة جامع الفنا, which are full of many tourists coming from different parts of the world. For the tourists to visit all these places, they must take a comfortable transportation such as buses, taxis, as well as a cart pulled by a horse known as al-kutshi. Many people prefer to take the cart because it helps to see the beautiful surroundings of Marrakesh. Moreover, you may wonder when you see a lot of people using their motorcycles. To conclude, although there are many wonderful cities, Marrakesh, according to me, is considered the best. This is the end of this video. I wish you took this rewarding and enjoyable journey of learning and practicing different questions related to baccalaureate exam. Thank you so much. Hope you all the best.